Hello, hi there, it's me, it's Dave, or the Jaded Rabbit. God bless you, my friends. Thank you kindly for joining along for another live stream. Yes, it seems like it never stops with Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, even though I'm not playing the game, I don't know who in their right mind is, but I am not playing the game. But even if you're not playing the game, there are still things happening out there in the ether. I think a lot of people sleep on WB games. They only think of like Ed Boon and oh god, everyone's got to love Ed Boon. Got to make sure that no one pisses him off because he's so precious, but he's not the precious one. Mortal Kombat 1 is not being orchestrated only by Ed Boon. It's also being orchestrated by the shareholders of WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery. And yesterday there was a shareholders conference call that wow. I mean, it's interesting to see how bad the business is performing. Actually, let's take a look at stock prices. Is it up? Oh, it's slightly up, but it's down overall from where it was last year, even just last quarter. I remember this being at 8.44, 8.48. The drops are astounding. The drops are seriously astounding for Warner Brothers. And I don't think Warner Brothers is really going to improve. I think there is essentially a huge problem with Warner Brothers, comparatively speaking, with other streaming companies like Hulu, Netflix, Disney. These other businesses are really in the domain of only making TV shows. Only streaming. Warner Brothers is trying to mess around everywhere. And I think if there's any lesson that can be learned here from Warner Brothers' experience with this first quarter earnings conference call is maybe don't be involved with games. Maybe sell off the games portions. I know Warner Brothers likes to leverage the gaming segment as a sort of differentiator, critical differentiator, quote, that distinguishes Warner Brothers' earning potential beyond Disney, beyond Netflix. Because if you're able to really drive home in onto that gaming segment, you're able to capitalize upon the youngest generation with all of that disposable income, Gen Alpha, Gen Z. David Zaslav has said that's his key demo. He's also said, kind of wild, that he said this in a conference call about a company who is predominantly known for their movies, TV shows, but saying that gaming is more important than movies, music, film, TV. It's books, obviously. Who's reading books? I would love to know. I love books. I wish more people did read books. Are there good books now? Like, I don't want to read 50 Shades of Grey. That doesn't seem like... I don't want to read it. I don't want to read Hunger Games either. I don't know. Is it good? If it's good, if one of you tells me it's good, I might read it. Do one. Thank whomever... you know who it is. It's Drew. Thank Drew. God bless Drew for gifting the membership to you, Duon. Also, go subscribe to Just Drew. Please. Let me see if I can find Just Drew. Just... oh, here we go. Just Drew 312. Are you subscribed? Go subscribe right now. Subscribe. Go subscribe right now. Don't subscribe to Warner Brothers. Don't subscribe to MK. Go subscribe to Just Drew. He needs it. Poor boy. I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for any of my brothers or sisters that get harassed. But that's a story for another day. So yeah, so we're gonna be taking a look-see at the earnings conference call, and if you are so inclined, you can also see this information and stuff for yourself. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to go over this together. Uh yeah, lots of craziness, because we know from the outset, one of the big headlines from that last conference call is that Warner Brothers Discovery reported a 200 million loss on Suicide Squad. So I'm not too sure. Like, I listened to the whole webcast. I'm not too sure, like, if this article has everything correct. What is this? I didn't know Peacemaker is DC and he's part of Suicide Squad. Is this photoshopped? I've never heard of this. I truly don't know anything about Sushi Squad. John Cena's Peacemaker. I don't know about that. Peacemaker's part of Suicide. Let me type that in. Is Peacemaker in Suicide? Oh, he is. Oh, it's all DC. Oh, I didn't even know. I thought Peacemaker was like this like thing unto itself from another universe. I did not know it's part of DC extended universe film universe. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was so ignorant. But also, can you blame me? Who really cares about these characters? But yeah, very interesting. So yeah, this article does highlight the $200 million loss. Now, I don't know if it's because of Hogwarts compared to just Suicide Squad. I thought this was a year-over-year comparison from Q1 2023 to Q1 2024. And yeah, I'm so sorry. This is like not gaming. This is really more so business. Oh well. But yeah. Leave a like if you like business. Leave a dislike if you like to harass people. Okay, you gotta subscribe to him. Go subscribe to him. He'll tell you what's going on. I am a Combat Cast member. Oh, are you there with Steffi? Would I like to talk to Steffi? Yeah, why not? We could share nail tips. I could give her a tip or two. Drew, oh yeah, we got that. Hi Sean, hi Smoke. I fought a Johnny with the Golden Order of Darkness skin. Did it come out? Where did you fight him? I would love to know where you fought him, Smoke. Because it's programmed into the game. And there are certain places in the game where you can access any of the pre-programmed skins. So if you got it there, that's RNG. But I would love to know, were you in practice at Wuxi Temple? Or were you in the random battle? Because you can get different things different places. Yes, very cool. Duwan, Sean, they got my money from Mortal Kombat 1. Shame on me. I am ashamed as well for myself. I think I've made a lot of foolish decisions in this past, 7-8 months. Bought MK1, followed Flat Earthers. I've made a lot of poor decisions in life. So I'm trying to correct that. I'm trying to shame myself so I can improve. Yes, let's all improve. Steffi v. Jaded. Steffi? Who's Steffi? You don't know who Steffi is? I love Steffi. Who should I make into Street Fighter 6? Steffi or Ed? I've already done Mania. Anyways, so big media companies can't ignore video games, but should they be making their own? So this article did bring up the point, because I'm not familiar with this. They said that Disney had announced a $1.5 billion investment into Epic Games. So they're not purchasing studios to become part of the Disney conglomerate, but they are investing in these other companies. Maybe merger acquisition in future, who knows? But it's interesting to see that Disney is doing that. I think it's a poor decision. Honestly, I think every company out here should be looking at companies like Amazon and Warner Brothers, because they've both dabbled with the gaming segments. Are they successful? I think they were successful with Hogwarts Legacy, not because of Warner Brothers, but despite Warner Brothers. There was too much word of mouth on that game. And there's too much bad word of mouth on Suicide Squad that maybe contributed to some of that $200 million loss. So this is from the Warner Brothers Investor Relations website. You can access this for yourself. It also gives you a link to the webcast. So this is something that we're going to be taking a look at. So apologies if you are unfamiliar with this. We've done it before, but I love to listen to the shareholders conference calls. I find them very fascinating.
Ladies and gentlemen,
very, very fascinating. So we're going to be doing this. Just the first part, not the whole thing. So one thing to know about these investor calls. Usually the first portion is going to be administered by David Zaslav, the CEO. And then the chief financial officer will speak, and the other big C's of the company. They're also there available for the Q&A portion if any investors have particular questions. I don't really care for the Q&A section. Maybe sometimes there's stuff in it, but for me, the Q&A section never asks the questions that I would like to ask. Like, are you going to fire Ed Boon? Are you going to dissolve Rocksteady Studios and NetherRealm for doing so poorly? I would love to know. Like, can you please fire some people? Maybe. Maybe then I'll invest in Warner Brothers. But not without that first. So let me get to the part with David Zaslav.
Executive Officer, Gunnar Wiedenfeld, Chief Financial Officer, Q, and Form 8K. With that, I'd like to turn the call over to David.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. As we kicked off the new year, our focus was simple: to continue building this company for the future, recognizing that it's not business as usual and that we are transforming ourselves for what's next in an industry undergoing tremendous disruption.
Like, okay, so what is this tremendous disruption? It kind of sounds like a televangelist on TV saying, like, the end is coming. Like, what is this disruption he's talking about? Is he talking about the WGA strike from last year? Because that's last year. What is he talking about? He's trying to paint a negative picture because there's a whole bunch of reported losses from different segments of WBD.
Largely driven by technological innovation impacting consumer behavior. And we're embracing that innovation here at Warner Brothers Discovery with bold and courageous decision-making. To that end, we've had a productive start of the year. We are pleased to see positive momentum building in several critical areas. Most notably, Max is gaining subscriber traction in all regions, adding 2 million subs this quarter, with our total direct-to-consumer subscriber count nearing the 100 million mark.
So I'm actually kind of surprised that they're giving metrics here about subscriber counts, because Disney doesn't want to do subscriber counts. Or was it Netflix? One of them doesn't want to do subscriber counts. So David Zaslav is really trying to push this idea that, OMG, there is more subscriber. Let's be honest. They're only there for one thing. Can I find it? Where is it? It's this guy. Do you guys watch House of the Dragon? That's like the only thing I would get HBO for. We don't even have HBO here in Canada. It's called Crave. It's not even WB. It's like owned by one of our telephone companies. But yeah, this was a very interesting show filled with incest and dragons. Actually, there were dragons. That was better than Game of Thrones in that regard. Actually, it feels better than Game of Thrones as an average, because if you average Game of Thrones, the last couple of seasons were really bad. But whatever. So I think like the people who are subscribing to HBO, it's very situational. Like they're only subscribing for a certain reason and they're not staying. Whereas if you stay here with the Jaded Rabbit fam, please stay here forever. We have a lovely community.
And while our U.S. subs will be impacted by some seasonality, particularly related to sports in Q2, we're on track for continued robust
I don't know anything about
international
sports.
growth this quarter and new subscriber highs through the remainder of the year. We're also gaining ground in ad sales with an acceleration in direct-to-consumer.
So ad sales are a very big, important part of the business because that's how they make a lot of the money. Like here on YouTube, I don't think like not even some people out there are acting like, why am I saying some people? Feet's out there acting like the money that you get from YouTube is like paying the bills. It's not paying the bills. For a lot of the people on YouTube, the money that you make from ad revenue, it comes at a 45-55 split, meaning that you get 55% of the ad revenue every time a commercial is played to someone, and YouTube gets 45%. That's redonks. That's so ridiculous. But the ad revenue plays definitely a large part of that revenue for YouTube, for Google, and it plays a large part of the revenue for Warner Brothers as well. So I hate it. Ad blocker, FTW.
Sequential improvement in linear this quarter, helped in part by a record March Madness men's basketball tournament and steadier overall ratings. At the same time, we're taking meaningful steps to rebuild our studios as the cornerstone of our storytelling engine. And we're proud of the recent
rebuild NetherRealm. Why don't they rebuild NetherRealm
this year, including Wonka, Dune Part 2.
Okay, so this is interesting. Let's just take a moment here because this is what he's selling. You got to know that with these earnings conference calls, with everything in life, there's an advertisement somewhere. Somewhere. Hidden, there is an advertisement. So here he is advertising the latest big titles for HBO, for Warner Brothers coming out as new films. I did not know about some of these things. Maybe you don't either. So let's listen.
Creative successes that have supported our number one box office share this year, including Wonka, Dune Part 2, and Godzilla X Kong. And we're excited about the quality and breadth of our future pipeline. We're also leaning into the ways that new technologies like data-driven systems and AI.
Oh, I thought he was gonna list all, and that'll maybe come later. The future pipeline is what I'm interested in.
Can improve our consumer offerings and enable us to run our businesses more productively and effectively. This is one of our
He's talking about AI. He wants AI.
Regarding the balance sheet, we continue to see tangible results from our focus on transformation and efficiency. Even in our seasonally weakest free cash flow generation quarter, our free cash
So he's like saying that, typically in Q1 things are looking bad because you just came off of Christmas and, it's usually bad. But it looks good for us because we got subscribers. What? I don't think the subscriber number really matters. For me, it doesn't. So the numbers that they have here, it does have some direct correlation to revenue. But it doesn't speak to the future of what they're doing. I'm more so interested in the futures.
Improved by $1.3 billion year over year to roughly $400 million in Q1 and $7.5 billion in trailing 12-month free cash flow.
Okay, so he's giving some good numbers here for like earning profits, at least with HBO. So let's see if we can find, because he has also, I think it's this. Oh, do you see this? I'm a nerd. I love numbers. Do you like numbers? So this is all of the numbers from this thing. So they're telling us about total revenue was 7% less. David Zaslav, how dare you try to sell your company saying that it's so wonderful, but it's negative? What do you mean negative reported changes? I that's in direct contradiction to what you were saying. Okay, so like that's why you also have to look at the numbers, cuz sometimes what they say is in direct opposition to what is fact. Isn't that wild?
And we will continue to opportunistically manage our capital structure, evidenced by this morning's debt tender announcement. While we've accomplished a lot over the last 2 years, we're still just scratching the surface
2 years since the
of our
merger.
long list of to-dos that we see as catalysts for change and ultimately levers of growth for Warner Brothers Discovery. The current media landscape is increasingly dynamic, and in response, we've had to make some tough and at times unpopular decisions. But we are doing what we believe in.
What is the unpopular decision? I would love further clarification on these unpopular decisions that he's making. Is it like canceling in progress projects? Is it is it the Barbie movie? I hated that Barbie movie. Is it the Barbie movie?
Necessary to best position the company for the future. And while transformation success is not easily measured in short-term months or even quarters, we're very confident in the strength of our assets and believe we will see both strategic and financial progress in the quarters ahead.
So note the wordage here, the verbiage. It's strategic and financial. So they're not necessarily looking to turn a profit. They're really looking more for strategic successes. And in terms of gaming, that would be like, go back to the Q3, or maybe it was the Q2 from last year, where he said that they want to drive engagement with these games over longer cycles on multiple platforms. They're just looking to hook people in, at least in terms of gaming. So then it's easier to monetize those, I want to say players, but they're payers, those potential payers into some sort of live service, free-to-play scheme.
Touch on a few key operational milestones.
I know Barbie made tons of money, but for me, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like that they took away the men's ability to vote. Like, why? What happened to equality? That's not equality. If you're taking away the Ken's ability to vote, that's like voter interference. That's like Russian collusion or some bullshit that was happening in America. I don't know. But it felt like that with Barbie, and I didn't care for that. I don't know. I've never seen a Barbie with a hijab. Have you? Have you? So I would love the hijab Barbie in a green hijab. Then I can pretend she's Jid.
And objectives as we look out over the near-term landscape. On direct-to-consumer, this is a pivotal and critical year for Max with an aggressive relaunch and rollout underway that will meaningfully expand our global presence and growth potential. Since the start of the year, we've expanded from a single market in the U.S. to 39 countries and territories with the launch of Latin America. And over the next several weeks, we will roll the service out in over 25 additional markets.
So this is so like I said before, here in Canada, we don't have HBO Max. So this is very interesting that they are trying to bring HBO Max to different countries, and it seems like it's working. Is this good? Is this bad? If they're able to find success in the streaming segment of business, then maybe they won't try to psychologically victimize their players in the games? Maybe?
Across Europe, including our first new markets, France and Belgium, with more to follow. and we're launching it ahead of the Paris Olympics. Max will be the only place where viewers across Europe will be able to watch every part of the Olympic Games. Our goal in 2024 is to drive top-line improvements and build upon the profitability we have achieved last year, while positioning us to achieve our $1 billion EBITDA target for 2025 with further growth beyond. And we're off to a strong start with nearly $90 million positive EBITDA generated this quarter, despite of
Wait. So you're looking to get to 1 billion in 2025, but you got only, I guess they got 90 million. They got maybe they can turn a profit. But if you've already evaporated 3 of those 12 months and you only got 90 million, how are you going to get more? And also that 90 million, which is what we saw here with this number, it's still less than last year. Still less than last year. So it's very interesting to hear these guys talk about these things. Okay, Duan, I haven't even seen the Barbie movie. Not Freud. To be honest, I'm a bit bored of all this woke, gender, whatever Western culture. I'm trying to get more Asian content to avoid that. I just try to get good content. It doesn't matter if it's Western or Asian or African or whatever. But like, there's lots of good things out there that don't necessarily follow all of the corporate ideologies. But this is why I find all of this very interesting, because if you don't hear what the corporates are saying, then you don't really know what their intentions are. They tell you what they're intending. Zendaya is pretty and the girl can sing. I don't have an opinion about her. I heard that she got into a beef with Azalea Banks, and that was many years ago. I haven't listened to the spoiler on Dune. I haven't seen Dune. Yeah, get that blocker of ads, Duan. This one hates MK1. How could... Aw, thank you, not Freud. How could I leave you? I'm a shill? Great. We're all shills in some way. Okay, let's continue.
Absorbing some of the launch cost of LATAM. But more importantly, we're laying the critical groundwork and infrastructure from which we expect to build a broader and more profitable direct-to-consumer segment. 3 key metrics underpin our strategic and financial objectives for direct-to-consumer. The first is subscriber growth. As I said, we're nearing the 100 million mark and see strong indicators of continued growth in Q2 and the remainder of the year.
They're still not in China. I feel like if they were in China, they would have a lot more.
Our strongest content slate yet, more partnerships in place to accelerate our rollout, an enhanced subscriber migration experience that reduces one-time churn, and more optimized marketing investment. Second, engagement and monetization. Thanks to a combination of stronger content and product enhancements, engagement reached an all-time high, and we are taking meaningful steps to grow it further. The team continues to improve the product to deliver more personalized consumer experience.
So engagement is one of those strategic successes. It's not necessarily something that brings monetary value, but it shows how much people are willing to waste their time on your product.
Feature set and more impactful content offerings. Additionally, we grew global ARPU 4% in the quarter. This, in part, reflects a greater mix shift of lower
ARPU, average revenue per user,
to international subscribers as compared to U.S. subscribers. This quarter, U.S. ARPU grew by a healthy 8%. While we still have lots to do,
I love
I'm pleased to say
ARPU.
the
It's so
content
silly.
lineup on Max over the next 12 to 18 months is one of the strongest ever. March was particularly strong with March Madness and Quiet on the Set, a huge hit coming out of our ID networks. And in Q2, we'll benefit from the 3rd season of critically acclaimed series Hacks, the streaming premiere of Iron Claw and Dune Part 2.
Okay, so Iron Claw, Dune Part 2, Hacks. He's really telling you what they're planning to bank all of their hopes and dreams on. And if you've been following these conference calls, one thing about Suicide Squad was that they were hyping it up even in the shareholders conference calls, they're like, "Oh, we are taking the time to get it right." If you remember that quote, yeah, they didn't get it right. They did not get it right. So I'm worried if any of these things are going to be bringing a profit. If they don't, we're going to get $10 skins in MK1.
Champions League in LATAM, and the June 16th premiere of Season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Yay, House
which
of
was one of the most successful
Dragon.
series in terms of engagement
I like
and
House of
subscriber
Dragon.
acquisition, just to name a few. In addition to
She
House of
F's her
Dragon,
uncle.
over the next 18 months, Max will premiere a robust combination of high-impact global original series, including season
Monetizing the one who released Mania and Shang as a premium product. LOL. Yeah, I don't understand how they could monetize poor Shang or Mania. Mania's worthless. It should just be free for everyone. Angel. Hey there, Angel. Oh my gosh. Love you, sister. Lovely to see you here. I hope you're having a fabulous start to your weekend. And please tell your husband I said hello. Yay.
Season 3 of The White Lotus, Season 2 of The Last of Us, Season 3 of...
Oh, okay. So we're getting Season 3 of White Lotus, Season 2 of Last of Us. Did you see Season 1? I didn't really care for it. It's okay. I didn't really care for it. I felt very much like if you saw the Resident Evil TV show, I felt like Last of Us. They're the same. It's not that much different. They canceled Resident Evil. Maybe they should cancel Last of Us too.
And Just Like That, along with highly anticipated tentpole original series, including The Penguin, Dune Prophecy, It, Welcome to Derry, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, a spin-off of the Game of Thrones franchise,
Oh.
plus an ongoing slate of fresh new Warner Brothers.
So I didn't know about that until I heard it from David Zaslav. Is they're making another Game of Thrones spin-off? That's so strange.
Lotus, Season 2 of The Last of Us, Season 3 of And Just Like That, along with highly anticipated...
I think, and Just Like That, that's the Sex and the City reboot. Yeah, or not reboot, continuation with the non-binary. Oh, God. Not Miranda fell in love with the non-binary. It's too much. But I'm not, like, super hyped about some of these shows, but there's a Dune Prophecy show. They're really going in heavy with Dune. For me, they needed Kyle MacLachlan somewhere. Is he somewhere in the Dune shows? The new one? If he's somewhere there, I'll be happy. But I didn't see him, at least during the first movie. I saw him in Fallout, which was on Prime. Yeah, but they're doing, like, all sorts of new things, like Penguin and... yeah, crazy. Let's listen.
...that global original series, including Season 3 of The White Lotus, Season 2 of The Last of Us, Season 3 of And Just Like That, along with highly anticipated tentpole original series.
So tentpole original series means that they've put a lot of budget in, and they're hoping to make a lot of profit out. Uh-oh. These are the big risks, the big gambles that they've spent the money on.
Including The Penguin, Dune Prophecy, It, Welcome to Derry.
It, Welcome to Derry? What is this? What is It, Welcome to Derry? It, Welcome to Derry. Oh, it's like Pennywise, new TV show. James Remar, he played Raiden in Annihilation. MK Annihilation. Okay, very interesting. I'm learning. So yeah, this is why I love listening to these webcasts, earnings shareholder conference calls. And this is something you can actually dial into your cell phone and call if you don't want to watch online. But yeah, I love finding out this like new information.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, a spin-off of the Game of Thrones franchise, plus an ongoing slate of fresh new Warner Brothers theatrical releases, such as Godzilla X Con, Furiosa, Beetlejuice, Joker 2, and more.
Joker
Third
2
metric
and
is churn,
more.
which, while still above our longer-term target, continues to trend downwards, and in fact, was at an all-time low in the U.S. at the end of the first quarter.
Okay,
Joker
so
2,
they're like, oh, we got so many subscribers. We launched in so many new regions. I mean, duh. If you'll launch a new product in a new region, hopefully you would get some new subscribers. But in the key segment of the US, they're going downwards. They're on a downwards trend. Okay, David Zaslav, so I love the double speak. I think like when you listen to these guys, you can get a really good lesson on how to do like double speak. Cuz they hide that they paint that bad news as something good. And they try to deflect.
and more. The third metric is churn, which, while still above our longer-term target, continues to trend downwards, and in fact was at an all-time low in the U.S. at the end of the first quarter.
Good.
Habituality and diversity of viewing are the most correlated inputs to churn.
Ooh, habituality and something currency are related to churn, which is like, I guess, like turnover, people who are staying as a subscriber to HBO Max. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound good if people in America are dropping off, and that's like where you get the most of your profits. Good job. Good job, David. Okay. Wow. David Zaslav is really trying here.
X Con, Furiosa, Beetlejuice, Joker 2, and more. The third metric is churn, which, while still above our longer-term target, continues to trend downwards, and in fact was at an all-time low in the U.S. at the end of the first quarter. Habituality and diversity of viewing are the most correlated inputs to churn.
That is scary. It sounds like the companies, the corporates, they want people to get addicted. Please don't get addicted. don't get addicted to anything. Everything in moderation is very fine. That's why I can only devote an hour of my time to video games, and that's about it. But more is too much.
And we saw continued healthy improvements in both in the first quarter. And with our even stronger content lineup coming over the next few quarters, as well as our ongoing user experience enhancements, we feel confident about our trajectory. As you know, I have been a big proponent of bundling. And yesterday...
Bundling? What are you bundling? So, do you know there's a bundle?
Together with Disney, we announced a first-of-its-kind offering that gives U.S. consumers the option of an ad-light or ad-free package that includes Max, Disney Plus, and Hulu.
It's so terrible. So I hate that they're doing this bundling approach where you can just... What's the difference between this, a bundle, where you have all of these streaming services bundled together, and a cable bundle? What is the difference? You've taken the TV and you've replaced it with a smaller screen in the form of your phone or a laptop. Like, it's so wild. And they're like, oh, we're progressing. We're doing things different. It's also what they're doing to gays. Like, before they wanted us to pray the gay away. Now they're telling us trans the gay away. Like, it's come full circle. And I feel like I might be one of the few who's on the outside watching all of this absurdity happen. Like, there's no net difference. What's the point of having a streaming service if you have to purchase it with bundles? And then you have to pay a premium for ad light or ad free? Insane. I have none of these services, by the way, and I'm not getting any of them.
The product will go live later this summer. And we couldn't be...
Not Freud, says the one who blew a PS5. Not that I blew the PS5. How big is the PS5? Let me see if I can find this here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna toot my own horn. I made thumbnails. Look at my thumbnails. I couldn't make a thumbnail for this one because I have to... Anyways. But yeah, I spent too much time on this Movado one. But yeah, look, Tia Carrera Look at this one for Homelander. OMG, do you think he's drinking his own milk? That's kind of what I was going for here. He's drinking his own milk. And then this one that got me all sorts of trouble from the sillies. I put a bunch of ads in it. I should have done that sooner. I was too lazy. I should have put the ads sooner. But I also put Susan Lucci. All mites are cotton children. So I still have to make thumbnails for these other ones. I don't want to. But if you've never seen it, and I really hope you have seen it, it's this one. You will never complete MK11. There are so many things to collect in MK11. Skins, gears, augments. Oh my god, that's what I actually tried. Oh my god, look at the editing. LOL, not that I actually edited. Okay, so I pull this up here because I wanted to show you what happened to my first PlayStation. If I can find it. Oh, here we go. This journey has caused irreparable damage to my PS5. So you can see from the inside of my PlayStation 5 that it actually got hot enough to singe or smoke the interior. Like, what happened? And I was just playing MK11. I don't blame me. Of course I don't blame me. I blame NRS. They don't know how to optimize their damn games. They should just stop. Just stop. Ugh. Anyways. So crazy. Let's continue with this.
Be more excited. Two of the world's most storied content companies are joining forces to deliver consumers the best and most diverse offering of entertainment at a very attractive price. And in addition to the unprecedented consumer value this product will provide.
Wait. Not him calling a bundle of cable services innovative. Unprecedented. Is he insane? David. No wonder the stocks have been going down year over year. Oh, God.
Real business benefits as well. The modest overlap between the three services means we have an opportunity to drive incremental subscriber growth. And also, because the consumers will have to retain all three, Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max, to take advantage of the price value in the offering, we expect this product will help increase retention and lower churn.
Okay, so they're trying to do some predatory pricing on this bundle. Beware. Beware, my friends.
And thus support higher customer lifetime values. And finally, over time, as the bundle gets more traction, we will benefit from increased efficiencies and greater marketing effectiveness. The bundle will go live later this summer, and we're excited about what it could mean for our business going forward. Of course.
Okay, so they've basically removed the cable supplier middleman. A TV cable supplier, whatever.
The heart and soul of our company is storytelling, and we are using
lies. Not storytelling is the heart and soul of their company. That's such a lie. No. Not that. No, I don't believe it. That's a lie.
All the formidable assets and the greatest creative minds to tell the best stories in the best ways possible as we strive to return the luster to Warner Brothers Pictures. Clearly, this takes time, and it's not something that can be accomplished overnight.
I hate to be like, I don't want to be jaded, but I feel like a lot of the movies that I see recently, they're kind of crap. A lot of the TV shows that I watch recently, they're kind of crap. I still watch them because there's nothing else. But I've watched Fallout. I watched what's the other one? Gen V. I saw Gen V. I didn't really care for any of them. They were okay, I guess. Not really. You could see the corporate ideology being pushed in each and every one of them. So, blah.
And the heavy lifting taking place under Mike and Pam's leadership at Warner Brothers Pictures and under Peter and James at DC isn't something that you see fully reflected yet in our financials. However, we are confident it will become more apparent with time. And in fact, we are seeing some
He's saying, but just believe in us. Please, you'll see profits sometime soon. Please.
strong proof points of our bold, more disciplined approach while we continue working through the remainder of the slate that was in place when we took over the business. Warner Brothers generated more than $1.8 billion in global box office since the start of the year, and it was the first studio this year to reach $1 billion in both overseas and worldwide box office. And they've got a great slate in the works. This morning, I'm excited to announce that the team is now in the early stages of script development for the first of the new Lord of the Rings movies, which we anticipate releasing in 2026, and will explore storylines yet to be told.
So they're trying to hook shareholders on a promise of a product coming in 2026. They haven't even written the script yet. And they're advertising it to be like, please invest money in us. Okay.
Peter Jackson and his longtime writing partners, Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, are producing and will be involved every step of the way.
No. Is he writing it or is he just producing it? Because if Peter Jackson is just a signatory and he's not making it, I'll be very sad. I hope he's there directing it.
Lord of the Rings is one of the most successful and revered franchises in history and presents a significant opportunity for our theatrical business.
Is he not talking about Rings of Power? What about Rings of Power? Do we not care about that anymore? Is that not happening? Wasn't Rings of Power one of the most expensive TV shows? No, the most expensive TV show ever made. Billions spent on that game or on that TV show. So we're not talking about that. So we're moving on to a new Lord of the Rings movie for 2026. Curious. I would like to see it. I'm not going to lie. I've fallen asleep during some of those Lord of the Rings movies, but I would like to see it.
Brothers Discovery's great storytelling IP, including Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Superman, and many other parts of the DC universe, are largely underused. We are hard at work fixing that. It's a core value and a key advantage for us. We have the characters and stories people love and yearn for everywhere in the world, in every language. Unfortunately, the studio's Q1 financials were overshadowed by the tough comp at games following the great performance of Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh my god. Was Hogwarts Legacy not only the biggest thing in gaming last year, but was it not only the biggest thing for Warner Brothers? Was no other part of their business as popular as Hogwarts Legacy? And it blows my mind that these guys think that they did something right with Hogwarts Legacy when people predominantly bought it because they wanted to support J.K. Rowling in her beliefs of biology. I'm not a biologist, but I hate that Warner Brothers is so ignorant of the success and why it was successful. Yet they double down on all of their other stories, all of their other projects to just include ESG, DEI, blah, blah, blah. Like it's all of that. But people bought Hogwarts Legacy because of the opposite of that. Much like what happened with Stellar Blade. People were purchasing it as a counter to the kind of woke politics being inserted everywhere. But yeah.
Last year, and the disappointing release of Suicide Squad in Q1 in our gaming group.
Okay, so he doesn't drop the numbers here. The numbers come from Gunnar, who's the CFO. But yeah, it's very intriguing. Uh-oh, I'm worried. I am hearing sounds from my server. Hopefully it's not going to explode.
We're hard at work fixing that. It's a core value and a key advantage for us. We have the characters and stories people love and yearn for everywhere in the world, in every language. Unfortunately, the studio's Q1 financials were overshadowed by the tough comp at games following the great performance of Hogwarts Legacy last year, and the disappointing release of Suicide Squad in Q1 in our gaming group. On the advertising front, while total company ad sales were down 7% in the quarter, we continue to see.
So it's surprising that there is this reported loss in the game segment, and it seems like the game segment was holding up a lot last year for Warner Brothers Discovery because of Hogwarts. But David Zaslav just dashes over that. So we don't actually get that $200 million figure until later. So we're going to have to listen to
Sequential
some more.
improvement, Q2 to date, led by what we anticipate will be our biggest direct-to-consumer quarter ever. As we highlighted last quarter, and underpinning some of this improvement is the resiliency of international linear advertising, primarily from our free-to-air channels in EMEA, which outperformed in the quarter with positive revenue
EMEA,
growth.
Europe,
This was primarily
Middle
driven
East.
by robust revenue growth in Poland, Italy, and Germany.
Yeah, Italy,
The firmly
Germany,
entrenched
Poland.
legacy broadcast
So
assets.
these were the key areas that apparently generated profits. Can someone send a memo to the Poles, the Germans, and the Italians to please don't support WB? Maybe that would be nice.
Continue to serve as highly effective platforms for advertisers to reach consumers. And while we just launched our international ad light offering in LATAM, with EMEA soon to come, these platforms will be critical to enhance our portfolio offerings. While linear has obvious secular challenges, we continue to see select opportunities. For example, U.S. networks' production hubs can be sources of popular, high ROI content for both linear and streaming. This is a benefit we will pursue where it makes sense, particularly as a more intelligent Max platform helps to inform how we allocate content budgets.
Ooh, more intelligent Max platform. So that's AI, that's algorithms trying to predict what people would like to see and trying to predict what people would like to purchase in advertisements, commercials. That's worrisome. Also, I think it's hilarious that he's talking about, oh yeah, we've just launched in Nicaragua. Oh yeah, Costa Rica, HBO Max, big. What? Why isn't he talking about like India, China, the places with the most population that you could profit on? Maybe, I don't know.
Across specific genres and verticals. For example, Max's hit "Quiet on the Set," which I mentioned earlier, was created by the team at ID. It became the most watched title on streaming in its debut week.
So Quiet on Set was that show about Nickelodeon, foot fetish, Ed Boon, something, yeah.
Billion minutes of viewing time. The true crime vertical has
1 billion minutes of viewing time. That's another one of those strategic successes that David was talking about earlier. This kind of stuff shows how engaged people are with the content.
Great traction on Max. And by leveraging the production scale at ID, we will be able to curate additional series very effectively.
So they think that because they made a really good documentary about CP and SA at Nickelodeon in Hollywood, that they're going to be able to replicate that? Like, how many more dramas and natural tragedies have to exist in the world so that Warner Brothers can make a profit? So hearing them saying that they gave money to the studio to increase their scale for projects, but where? Like, are you going to invent the story of more people getting abused? Or where are more people getting abused? I guess you could talk about things in the third world, elsewhere, developing problems. I guess you could do like Gaza, maybe, I don't know. I'm just curious as to what kind of projects these people are going to be able to formulate if they were just exposing Nickelodeon.
And efficiently that work across Max and our other distribution platforms. I mentioned AI earlier. We recognize that AI is going to have an increasing impact on society and our industry.
That's important.
And we intend to take full advantage to enhance the products and experiences we deliver to consumers and to achieve greater efficiency company-wide.
So they're not only looking for fixing the product, fixing the story with AI, they're also looking to fix their internal workforce with AI. It's all very scary.
We are focused particularly on improvements to our ad targeting and recommendation algorithms. Our AI-based understanding of our customers and content are being activated in our product, marketing, and ad sales, which you'll hear more about at our next week's Upfront.
Ooh, okay, so this is another thing. So next week, there's going to be more of this. I'm very interested because they're going to be talking about the algorithms and the AI that they're hoping to use. And if you followed me last year, you'll know that I did cover Gamescom Political Congress. And one of the things that they talked about there was the use of adaptive AI in video games. So I would be interested to know if any of this is going to be applied to MK. I'm always keeping it with like the perspective of how is this affecting games?
Since the initial launch of Max, we've been using AI and machine learning to personalize content discovery. We've continuously innovated to improve our models to present the right content in front of our consumers at the right time. And this is helping us to drive better content diversity on Max. We've also been leveraging AI to more efficiently and swiftly identify and optimize ad break opportunities in our premium HBO content, which typically does not have natural ad breaks. This has enabled us to offer the premium.
They're trying to stick in ads everywhere, and they need an AI to do it. Are you fucking kidding me? Just throw an ad in. If they're already subscribed, do you really need to be throwing all those ads in? For the most part, if you watch my videos, I have like a very balanced, let me see if I can show you. So in YouTube, there are different ways of monetizing ads. There is aggressive, there's balanced, and there's something else. Conservative. There we go. So this is with live streams. This is with videos. This is with whenever you allow the AI from Google to put in the ads for you. And hearing that David Zaslav is inventing AI to do the things that Google and YouTube are already doing, it's kind of like you're behind the competition. You're behind the track. You're failing, David Zaslav. Please figure out how to use ads maybe a little bit better. So this is kind of sad too. So if you watch like a YouTuber and you notice that you're getting a lot of ads during the live stream, that's because they went for the aggressive option. It even states that as you create a live stream in YouTube, you could put as many ads with aggressive or balanced or conservative, and you don't have to do anything. You just choose one of those presets and YouTube will put the ads in for you. I choose balanced. I think that's fair. I don't choose conservative. For my members only videos, I try to turn off ads so that you don't have to watch the ads, but YouTube still puts them in. Yeah, YouTube loves ads, but these people are creating AI to add ads to their subscriber only product. It's paywall upon paywall. And it's disgusting because we get that in MK. Like, you pay for the initial game and then you have to also pay for the skins. So not only do you have to pay for HBO Max, but you also have to pay extra for an ad light or an ad-free version. What? Okay. Great.
Premium content on our ad light tier, and it's also allowed us to create variable ad load for our content as we monetize it using multiple tiers and platforms. And we have dozens of other experiments across a spectrum of areas ranging from corporate and developer efficiency to marketing optimization and targeting. All this experimentation is guided by clearly defined AI principles. We believe strongly.
I was going to say it's all guided by experienced professionals. He did not finish that statement how I thought he was. It's all guided by AI principles. That's kind of scary. Like, these people are thinking that AI do the job better. Good. Let's see how that works for you.
The creativity and the kind of empathy and humanity necessary to create world-class...
Oh my God. Could you imagine watching ads waiting for matches in Don't say that, not Freud. Don't give Steffi any ideas because it's going to happen.
Storytelling can only be found in people, not systems.
Yeah, right. Except you want to rely on AI, David Zaslav. He has so much double speak.
To innovate and evolve how we tell stories and inspire audiences. Before I close, I want to mention a topic I know is top of mind for everyone, and that's the NBA. We've enjoyed a strong partnership.
What? I will say, when he said that, MBA, Masters of Business Administration, is that what he means? No, he's talking about sports. I don't care about sports. Who cares? I guess all the straights do, but it's not for me.
With the NBA for almost 4 decades. We're in continuing conversations with
And
them
especially
now,
baseball,
and
because like here
we
in
gave it a mutual
Canada,
agreement
it's
to
about
extend
hockey,
for
not
both
about
sides.
baseball.
We've had a lot of time to prepare for this negotiation, and we have strategies in place for the various potential outcomes. However, now is not the time to discuss any of this.
Okay. So he's like, oh, you guys are all thinking about it, but we're not going to talk about it. What a cock tease. This Sasloff is such a tease.
Since we are in active negotiations with the league, and under our current deal with the NBA, we have matching rights that allow us to match third-party offers before the NBA enters into an agreement with them. With that in mind, please understand that this is as much as we're prepared to say about this topic today. These are challenging times for our industry. There's no question.
I would love to know what challenges he's talking about other than AI. I would also would like to know why he is not pushing for HBO to go to bigger markets like China. Please tell me why.
Is, and I tell my team this all the time, there isn't a more exciting moment to be in this business.
Boo.
We continue to do the hard work.
Terrible business. Hollywood sucks.
Drive
Boo.
Growth in the future. We are positioning ourselves to take full advantage of opportunities that we see around us, and we're more confident than ever in our assets and our playbook. With that, I'll turn it over to Gunnar, and he'll walk you through the financials for the quarter.
Okay, so Gunnar is... I would say Gunnar is very important to WB. So, like, you've got David Zaslav. He's the CEO of WBD. And then you've also got Gunnar something. I forget his last name. But he's, like, the chief financial officer. There's also JB Perrette, who's the CEO of the gaming and streaming segments of WBD. Let's see what you guys are saying. Do you find this interesting at all? I find it very interesting. So interesting. Surviving the 27 seasons of MK1 is a challenge on itself. Oh no. There was 32 in MK11. Yep. He sounds like AI. Oh no. David Zaslav is behind Skynet. You lie. Ah. Can you imagine? Yeah, we got that. Yes, we realized with MK1 pallets, AI did a lame job. AI did. I wish AI was used appropriately, because I've seen it used successfully to create beautiful things. T8000. The Melina fatal blow with her mouth shut has happened again. Oh, yeah, sure. Send it to me on a DM on Discord. Giras, you're early today. Yes, this is when I'm free today. Harry Potter sucks. You know, I like Harry Potter. He's all right. I read the books. I couldn't move forward the first 15 minutes of the game. I just loved running around Hogwarts. It was quite an experience to see all of the campus. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful. $200 million, that's twice the amount of production costs for making Forspoken. See, I'm not too sure if that's about the production costs for Squad. We're going to hear it here with Gunnar, but he's going to say, I'm pretty sure it's a year-to-year comparison, not necessarily just a game. But, yeah.
Thank you, David, and good morning, everyone. I'd like to begin by spending a minute or two on the balance sheet and highlighting the key factors that underpin the $1.3 billion positive year-over-year swing in Q1 free cash flow in what is our seasonally weakest cash production quarter, and where we typically see more cash outflows than inflows. Namely, number one, the continued benefit from the many initiatives to improve working capital, which we are still in the early innings of.
So sorry. Mother called. I just needed to go check on her. Okay, so let's see what Gunnar is saying.
That underpinned the $1.3 billion positive year-over-year swing in Q1 free cash flow in what is our seasonally weakest cash production quarter and where we typically see more cash outflows than inflows. Namely, number one, the continued benefit from the many initiatives to improve working capital, which we are still in the early innings of realizing. Number two, the more disciplined and analytical approach to content investment and allocation. Number three, meaningfully lower cash restructuring costs. And number four, lower cash interest expense as a result of the more than $6 billion of debt we repaid over the past 12 months.
That's a key number. They've repaid $6 billion of the debt that they have accumulated last year. I mean, I think that brings down their total from 48 to $42 billion. It's still a lot. Good. I wonder when they'll be out of the hole. Maybe 5 years from now, at the rate that they're going.
The primary use of our free cash flow remains delevering the balance sheet. We remain committed to our gross leverage target range of 2.5 to 3 times, and I'm confident that we will continue to make progress towards further delevering this year. We paid down over $1 billion of debt during the first quarter, including nearly $400 million from open market purchases at a discount.
Okay, so keep in mind, they're making profit and they're also paying off their debt. That's good. But the profits that they're making are what? Because they launched in Nicaragua, like Costa Rica, Guatemala? Like, what's happening? I just don't get it.
I continue to view our debt stack as an important and valuable resource. Our weighted average maturity is roughly 15 years with very manageable average annual maturities for the foreseeable future, with maturities in any given year significantly less than what our annual free cash flows have been, even normalized for the strikes. Our debt is virtually all fixed with an average cost of 4.6%, in line with the yield on comparable U.S. long-dated treasuries. Based on the difference of current market value to book value, reflecting the current rate environment versus when issued, we have a $6 billion asset in our debt stack. And you should expect that we will begin to be more opportunistic in monetizing this asset, as evidenced by the debt test.
So that's the second time that they've said during this live stream that they're going to be more opportunistic with trying to monetize these different potential cash flows. So I want to see here. This $6 billion, he said there was a $6 billion asset, and I'm trying to understand from what. So we've got Dune and Godzilla have grossed $1.2 billion in box office. Quiet on the Set is third best series launched to date. And they got people from Guatemala to subscribe to Max. Great. Global direct-to-consumer subscribers were almost 100 million. So David Zaslav was saying 100 million. It wasn't. It's close to it, but it's not. We've also got ARPU was $7.83. So they're averaging nearly $8 from every single person who is subscribed. Wow. So that's an average, right? More people are, I feel like a small majority would be paying like extra to get like things as soon as they release, to get things completely ad-free. Yeah. I guess it would just be cheaper to just discontinue all of these services. Q1 total adjusted EBITDA was 2.1 million. No, I'm reading that wrong. 2.1 billion. Why do they write it like this? They should just write the things properly. Primarily driven by the success of Hogwarts Legacy in the prior year quarter, while Suicide Squad generated significantly lower revenues in the current year quarter. It just really highlights how much they were trying to depend upon Suicide Squad. And like they're saying, they're making a comparison of 2.1 billion adjusted EBITDA. But can you really blame that all on Suicide Squad? I mean, with the amount of blame that they're putting on Rocksteady just from the call and, the highlights. It's the third point of the highlights. How are they not how are there no repercussions? I guess that's the question. Games revenue declined significantly due to the success of Hogwarts Legacy, while this year's Q1 release generated significantly lower revenues. So repeating that again, but it doesn't, like, I can understand within the comparison of just games, but for the whole entire business to blame it all on Suicide Squad seems a little extreme. Unless it was really, like, I know it sucks, but doesn't Mortal Kombat also suck? I feel like it's kind of unfair. I think they're kind of scapegoating the situation, which for me doesn't read like responsible company. I don't know how people are investing in this. TV revenue declined meaningfully as production delays from WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes led to fewer episodes. So I feel like reading this is completely different to what we've heard from David Zaslav up until this point. So it's wild, really wild. The misinformation, the misdirection, they're really trying to obfuscate things like numbers, which is why I like looking at numbers.
Tender that we announced this morning. We intend to repurchase outstanding debt using up to $1.75 billion of cash. Turning to the segment results, I'd like to provide some brief commentary to supplement the discussions in the earnings release. Starting with studios, the $400 million plus year-over-year decline in Q1 was primarily due to the very tough comp we faced in games against the success of Hogwarts Legacy last year in the first quarter, in conjunction with the disappointing Suicide Squad release this past quarter, which we impaired, leading to a $200 million impact to EBITDA during the first quarter.
Okay, so they're saying 200 million EBITDA, but this little chart thing is telling me 2.1 billion EBITDA adjusted. 20% X decrease. Oh, 20% of the 2.1 billion is 200 million. Okay, never mind. I got it. 200 million is correct. But it's wild that they're just all blaming it on this poor game from Rocksteady. I know it sucks, but wow. WB really sucks. I don't want to work for them ever.
This overshadowed an otherwise very bright spot from the contributions of recently released theatrical films, where we have had excellent traction to start the year.
Like what? Dune?
I'm excited that we have broken ground on a significant expansion project at our world-class
I haven't seen
production
it.
facility in
I
Leeds,
don't know
UK.
if I am.
A great example of where we are making long-term investments at the heart of our company with an attractive return profile. It's also another example of how our new 1WBD processes are supporting the studio leadership team in combining creative excellence with overall financial discipline, while the studio business will always be characterized by hits and misses. With these more rigorous processes in place,
so that's an interesting way of phrasing it, is that they're trying to combine financial discipline with the creative storytelling process. So more monetization in video games is what we're going to see.
To realize more upside for the bottom line with our hits, while reducing the bottom line drag from our misses. Turning to D2C, we have successfully migrated the HBO Max subscriber base of Latin America over the past couple of months. To be clear, this was no easy feat, with 160 platform integrations that were required to migrate existing subscribers to the new service. This required significant management time and resources, and we transitioned subscribers with better than expected migration-related churn, in part attributable to the best practices from the US relaunch. An important outcome from the LATAM relaunch is the ability to now offer more consumer-friendly pricing and packaging across ad-light, ad-free, and
they love talking about poor Guatemala. Stop trying to steal money from the Guatemalans.
With more flexibility in subscription options and additional paths to monetize the base. For example, installment billing for consumers who are unable to pay the full multi-month subscription price up front. We will apply a similar approach to customer segmentation in EMEA.
So they're trying to adjust their pricing schemes for HBO to make it more predatory. That's nice.
To further scale the international subscriber base while improving worldwide monetization. As we push further into this geographic expansion, we are taking a more holistic view of our distribution deals with partners that both distribute our linear content offering as well as wholesale our Max streaming service. Thus far, we have in many cases captured greater overall value to WBD while managing the transition from linear to streaming. And with our strong start in Q1, I expect us to remain profitable in the D2C segment during 2024, despite the heavy launch investments, and I remain fully confident in our path to achieve our $1 billion plus EBITDA target for 2025 and our growth ambitions thereafter. One final note on D2C. content revenue was down 46% during Q1, and as a reminder, we will have a more difficult comp in Q2, both of which are the
I love Gunnar because I feel like every time I hear him speak, he says the most negative things in a positive way. He's like, "Oh, well, for next quarter, we're just going to have a more negative like predictions." What did he say here? Let me see if I can get it.
I expect us to remain profitable in the D2C segment during 2024, despite the heavy launch investments, and I remain fully confident in our path to achieve our $1 billion plus EBITDA target for 2025 and our growth ambitions thereafter. One final note on D2C. Content revenue was down 46% during
Content revenue is down 46%.
Q1, and as a reminder, we will have a more difficult comp in Q2.
And we will have a more difficult comp in Q2. So prior to the shareholders conference call, the last one, they were saying, "Oh, we're expecting a difficult comparison for Q1 because of Hogwarts Legacy." So here we are, Q1. They are talking about Hogwarts Legacy, but they're shifting the blame from Hogwarts really more so onto Suicide, just not living up to its expectations. But it's kind of sad that they're expecting more difficult comparisons for next quarter. How are they ever going to repay off that debt if they're only expecting less revenue from last year?
Both of which are the product of timing of output deals renewed last year, availability of content, as well as our content utilization choices. Turning now to advertising, we did see sequential improvement both linear and D2C in the first quarter. Total company advertising in Q1 was down 7%, a sequential improvement of 300 basis.
So, okay, even the advertisers were like, "I'm not putting my ads on your HBO Max," resulting in a decline by 7% from revenue advertising. Great. Lovely. It's kind of wild that this is the situation of Warner Brothers.
Where we expect another record quarter in Q2. It also, in part, reflects an increasingly more holistic portfolio approach to monetizing viewership on both linear and Max, supporting our ability to offer our partners incremental reach and more customized ad solutions spanning all platforms, particularly in the U.S. The trend in quarter-to-date linear...
Except they were losing subscribers in the U.S. That's what David Zaslav said. So it just doesn't add up. Everything that they're saying doesn't add up, and I find a lot of double speak in just this short little part from their shareholders conference call.
Pacings in the US,
or maybe I'm not understanding, but please enlighten me if I'm not getting something here.
Honestly, even excluding the positive impact of the NCAA Men's Final Four and the championship games. As a reminder, we will benefit from having these games exclusive to WBD this year, but we do not have the Stanley Cup Finals, and the exit of the AT&T Sportsnets will continue to be a headwind to revenues with marginal profit impact through the end of Q3. Internationally, EMEA continues...
Headwinds, meaning that like these things are going to be slowing down their progress as they try to move forward. Yeah. Great. Tailwinds push you forward. Headwinds slow you down. So they're expecting that not having the Stanley Cup or having these other sports ventures is going to hurt the business. Okay.
To be a standout bright spot, particularly in our free-to-air markets. Advertising revenue grew nicely in Q1, and we're seeing a continuation of this trend in Q2. Poland, Italy, and Germany were notable outperformers among the key EMEA markets.
Okay, so that's the same thing that David Zaslav said. So they're getting lots of, I guess, relevant ads in Italy, Germany, and Poland.
Except for the UK and the Nordics, advertising revenues were flat to up in virtually all EMEA markets during the first quarter. Though materially smaller, Latin America has been and continues to be a different story.
Oh, God, I love that he finally admits it. Latin America is materially smaller. David Zaslav is like, "Oh, we've got so much great progress in LATAM and EMEA." And meanwhile, like, who cares? Because they're just such a small part of the greater pie. That's why I keep on saying, like, where's China in this conversation? Where's India?
Particularly given cyclical and secular headwinds in Brazil and Mexico, our two largest markets in the region. And unlike in Europe, where we are a scale broadcaster in several markets, we are more exposed to the less resilient pay TV ecosystem that is experiencing a more pronounced secular shift of advertising dollars to streaming. With Max now in the region, we have a growing ad light presence and are better positioned to capture a share of this migration. We look forward to updating you on our progress here which, while early, is exceeding our expectations thus far. Finally, I'd like to update you on our continuing transformation efforts, where we've made enormous progress on capturing cost efficiency throughout the company over the last few years. We continue to push forward with new initiatives and have added to the pipeline of opportunities. We now see a path to meaningfully exceed the more than $1 billion of remaining cost savings that we had previously guided to, which is on top of the more than $4 billion that we already realized.
But how? How are you going to get those savings?
These efforts as a continuous improvement mindset, having become muscle memory for the WBD team.
No, but how are you going to find those efficiencies within the company? Are you going to fire people? Can you fire people, please? Please fire some of these gaming studios who aren't performing.
Will further benefits from consolidation of real estate, facilities, and taking advantage of the great talent across our global capability centers. As well, we see meaningful savings from the ongoing consolidation of 12 global content workflow systems. As noted, identifying opportunities to utilize AI to increase productivity in all facets of business operations.
Oh yeah, this is another great point. They're going to be using AI in every place they can. Whether it be replacing jobs, whether it be with optimizing workflow processes, whether it be with the products that they are selling to consumers, they will include adaptive AI. They will include AI. And what's the point of having all of this AI being thrown into the plate? What was the point of the SAG-AFTRA strike? Why did the WGA strike against the AI? And then the corporates are like, we're gonna be putting it in everywhere. Tee like, it's so hilarious. Like, does no one see what these companies are doing? Why aren't the writers upset? Why aren't the actors upset? They were upset last year. Then some of them got paid off, and they're like, okay, we're fine. But like, you hear the corporates, they're gonna put AI in everything.
Remains a top priority that may drive further upside to our updated cost savings target. I am proud of the continued progress we are making to best position Warner Bros. Discovery to respond to the changes taking place in the industry. Indeed, this demands us making difficult and bold decisions. We are focused on doing what is right for the long-term health and sustainability of the business to best serve the need of customers and partners while positioning the company to drive long-term shareholder value. Now I'd like to return the call back to the operator, and David, JB, and I will take your questions.
JB, I wish JB had a speak here, because he's the guy who's in charge of WB Games, but instead we just hear from the financial officer and the CEO. But I'd love to hear from the games segment, because they love to say that the games are one of the key points that makes them different from other streaming services. They've got a games division. Would have loved to hear something. Maybe they'll give another talk, that JB Perrett, at some other conference. We'll see. But yeah, that was pretty much the whole corporate speak. There is a Q&A portion, and if you listen to it, you'll hear that David Zaslav actually sounds different compared to how he speaks during prepared remarks.
A more compelling and exciting offering, or
he doesn't find his words as easily when he's ad-libbing these Q&A segments. But he has a really nice... I like his speeches that he gives in the prepared remarks, even though it has all of that double speak, because you can take a look at the key results here from the shared PDF, and you'll see that the numbers don't lie. David Zaslav does. But the numbers don't lie. So you can see that there are losses. This is that 7% loss upon year-over-year comparison. That's so unfortunate. There's just so many losses compared to last year. And to say that this was all based on Suicide Squad, they really scapegoated here, because Suicide Squad has nothing to do with advertising or distribution or content. They poor Rocksteady. But they are getting blamed for everything, I guess, as they should, because whatever, Sweet Baby Inc. or whatever. So this is hilarious. I find it very hilarious, and I think it's highlighting what we should expect in the future for Mortal Kombat. They don't care about having good product. They care about AI learning of the player and trying to advertise and monetize upon that. We have seen Mortal Kombat become 170 gigabytes of commercials and advertisements. Go buy this from the premium shop. Oh, go get this from Invasions. Oh, the season's going away. Spend all your social credit because it'll be gone. It's all about purchasing, and they're really more focused. They're happy to report these year-over-year losses because they're having strategic successes. They are creating tent-pole programming in the form of The Penguin, It, House of the Dragon, new Game of Thrones spin-off, Dune. Like, they're relying on these tent poles to prop up and like say, hey, we have these creative stories. Hey, we have a billion minutes watched of that children getting harassed documentary. Yeah, I just, those aren't financial successes. Those don't have like a monetary value, but they're trying to say that they can capitalize upon it because, well, they're increasing scale of production with the ID studio so that they can make more of this documentary about children getting harassed or something of that nature. But that's why they also care that people play the video games. And I think from what we heard from both David and Gunnar is that games is really disappointing. And rather than saying that all of the games are failing, it feels like they're really pinning everything onto Hogwarts Legacy versus Suicide Squad. But I haven't forgotten that they have a bunch of other games. They have a bunch of other games. They have Mortal Kombat. They've got how do you call it? Their mobile games. They don't talk about their mobile games. They're not talking about the Game of Thrones mobile game. They're not talking about the Harry Potter mobile game because there's, I'm guessing, nothing to be said about it that's good. That's worrisome that they're investing in all of these studios creating free-to-play gaming extensions for live services, and they don't even have anything good to say. I'm excited, though, to know what's happening for Q2. I also want to know all about that up front, where they talk about AI predictive algorithms that are meant to cater to subscribers. I really want to know about that AI business. This is something that I also found with the prepared details here. There's also an annual meeting of stockholders coming up next month. That's cool. I'm excited to see that. Oh, there's also a debt schedule. Oh my God, look at all the debt. Look at all the debt, and it's all maturing at different times. Like, they got to pay back all of this stuff. Could you imagine dealing with that? Oh my God. It's so much debt. Can someone do the math here, please? Have they reduced it significantly? Still looks like a lot. Not 400 million pounds. That's a lot of pounds. Anyways, so yeah, so there's a lot of things that they've provided here, including the sustainability report. I'm not going to be making a separate video about this. I think this is something that if you're interested, you might want to see it. But it really does highlight the fact that all of the things that they produce at WB is meant to adhere to ESG. If you don't read all of the fine print, if you don't look at these documents, you don't know that David Zaslav really cares about ESG. He really cares about sustainability. And this is where the sustainability, this is all part of the E from ESG. So there's environmental, social, and governance. So what we experience today, the fact that they have all of these things available for someone like me to pull up, this is incredibly transparent. And this falls underneath the G of ESG, governance. being able to be transparent and ask your questions, that's all part of having a good G score for ESG. But the sustainability is really about things like I'm laughing because I see that Goku McDuck gifted a Jaded Rabbit membership, and the AI decided to gift it back to you. God bless you, Goku. Thank you. But it's hilarious. Okay. So yeah, I think this is all very interesting. You may find this all very dry. And I know, unfortunately, this kind of stuff is pretty dry, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm a nerd. I'm such a nerd for this stuff. Hopefully, I've made it more entertaining for you. I do think that the major takeaway here is that WB is in trouble, especially because of Suicide Squad. $200 million in the hole. And I don't think that's because of the budget that they've spent at Rocksteady, but rather because in a year-to-year comparison, Hogwarts Legacy just outperformed, and they're not able to reach or meet that performance level, which is good for them. I would also like to draw your attention here to Just Drew. Please go subscribe to him, please. He makes wonderful videos. I would love to see a live stream from him or something, but you have to subscribe. Oh, whoa. Yeah, and much love to Goku, who gifted himself a membership. Love you, Goku. But yeah, whoa. Crazy, crazy times. Did you find this fun? Please leave a like, or leave a dislike, or get out. Because the stream is over. It's done. Go. Go, go, go. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Not Freud. Welcome to the bunny fam. I don't I think like the correct phrase there, Goku, is we don't owe anyone anything. I don't think there should be any sort of like a racial thing slant to it. Like I am not none of us bear the sins of our forefathers. None of us. Like we come into this world as our own independent people, I think. What's DAI? I don't know what DAI is. DEI is different. They care more about making money than protecting children. Yes, maybe. Laughs. DEI will become DAI. Oh, so like there's an evolution to DEI? What's the A for? But Jaded, my live services game though. Oh no. Cope and seethe, WB, and take the L. Yes. I wonder what Batgirl would have looked like. Yeah, that might have been one of the unpopular decisions that David Zaslav was referring to, like the cancellation of some of those in progress projects. WB ruined DC, and they keep it up. They're not letting go of DC, by the way. They look at DC, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat as underutilized properties. They even said it. They didn't talk about Mortal Kombat, probably because they know they already shot that one dead. Poor Mortal Kombat. I don't know what's the future for this game, and it's not promising if they aren't mentioning it during the shareholders conference calls. I kind of suspect that they're going to move on from this game pretty quickly. Drop whatever story DLC and then be out, but we'll have to find out together. Imagine losing 200 mil. For regular people, going into massive debt ruins your life. Not big companies, they can lose anything. So here's the thing. It's not that they lost 200 million. It's that the year-over-year comparison shows that they don't have as much money as last year in profits. Last year profits was 10.7 billion. This year profits for Q1 is 9.9 billion, right? But the issue here is they're saying that the EBITDA is resulting in a $200 million revenue loss. They didn't make as much money this quarter because Suicide Squad just underperformed. It's not necessarily that it lost money as an individual product, but when you compare it over year and the whole entire segment, they're not making as much money. And they're blaming it on Suicide Squad. Yeah, I think that's very interesting. My conclusion is we are not biologists. Nope, none of us are biologists. I don't know anything about biology. Gears, why does he sound like he's speaking out of a 50s radio? This is like literally a telephone call. That's also why there's like no graphics here. This is just like they're at their tables. They're sitting at a table. There's like a phone. It's on speakerphone. They're talking into it. That's what it is. Unfortunately. Buffy, hey there, sister. Thank you for joining. Love you. Oh my god. Okay. Whoa. Wow. Goku. Wow, you just made a lot of people's days. YouTube is censoring me to send super chats. Wait, what? Not YouTube is censoring you. Testing. Gave up on gaming with Smash Bros. Okay. I leave you a like. Thank you, brother. MX. Ooh, what's MX? Mexico? Oh, it's the LATAM. Oh, no. They were talking a lot about LATAM today. But thank you so much, Goku. God bless you. That really means a lot. Love you, brother. Also, that means now that you get to see all my fancy videos. I will say that I've been trying to do my YouTube job by making thumbnails. So there's this one with periods. I love this one because this one is pretty. That was simple. That one took me like 2 seconds to make. The AI, the DAI, got it. AI, DAI, DEI. Trying to make a longer super chat saying I give up on. Oh, yeah. They limited it to only like 50 characters. I'm sorry. After Minecraft, Steve got into Smash Bros. And that Zaslav will let kids. Yikes. For some reason, when I send a single gift membership, it's because it wants you to enjoy it. The gift should be for yourself. While Ed Boon already had ideas for Injustice 3, yeah, I'm at Mexico, your North American neighbor, barely seen. Love Mexico. Te amo mucho. Oh my god, Rihanna had a song called like Te amo. Oh my god, that was so good. I love that song. It was from Russian Roulette, that album. Anyways, so replace DEI hires for AI hires. It will happen. DC versus SNK should happen. I paid more for characters and does not let me. Oh, letters. Okay. Whoa, crazy. Yo te amo coñito. Oh, that's like rabbit, right? That's Spanish rabbit. Ooh. I'm wearing a sombrero. I love it. Okay. Love you guys so much. Hopefully you had fun with me. It was a different live stream today. Maybe I'll go back to drama tomorrow. We'll see. But until then, I'm praying for all of you to be having a lovely start to your weekend. But please, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye, my friends. Take care. Peace. Love you guys. Te amo, not Freud.